Good afternoon, everyone. This is Sophia Lynn, your resident tarot psychic and ascended master contact. I do receive messages from them, sometimes directly and also through the cards. And today we have the messages coming from the King of Cups or the King of Water, because I use the Angel Tarot deck. And in that deck, the water, the emotions are represented instead of the cups, like in the traditional tarot, it's the water cards, which represent all of the fluid movements of our feelings and thoughts, and all the stuff going on right now has got us all feeling pretty emotional. So let's get right in it. Um, the insight today is about remembering to open your heart, to let more life in your life. Many of us have gone through some pretty traumatic experiences in the past, and if you've been around long enough and gone through enough of them, you may have shut your heart down to the point where you're not really receiving or giving the way you might think you are. When we get hurt or go through trauma, and especially if it results in some kind of PTSD, we can build a wall around our heart, and sometimes that wall is so tall and so strong there's no way for anyone to get over it, to come in to connect with us. And more importantly, we can't even get out to connect with people. Our trust is broken, our sense of security and safety is gone, and we find ourselves being overly protective. But the problem with that, which is something the masters recently revealed to me, because I was asking some questions about why is it, it seems like I keep repeating a one major situation in my life over and over, and it turns out it's connected to feelings of being hurt, betrayed, disappointed to the point where people do things or say things to me that are very hurtful and in some cases damaging. And I find myself spending weeks and months trying to undo the emotional shock just to get back to the point where I'm functional again. And so I asked the masters the question of what is it about this process that I keep going through, and why is it popping up again now? I thought I had overcome it. How many times have you guys said, "Oh, I thought I was done with that," and then here it comes again? Well, it's because there may be another layer to that onion, or it just may be that there's some karmic clearing and experiencing that you're going through to resolve maybe some relationships from your past, whether you know it or not. For me, it turned out that this was a karmic clearing, cleansing. It connected to directly, most recently in the last, say, 3, 4 years, to three people in my life who all happen to be very close friendship wise, and one is even a relative. And the situation is that I had some karmic clearing to do with these three other women, and it wasn't so much that I needed to clear anything with them or do something to make up anything with them. I was there to be an opportunity for them to do some clearing for themselves. Now, that's not to say that this wasn't the karmic response to something that I had done in the past. That part didn't come through. But what I did learn was I was here to help hold up a light, a mirror for them to have an opportunity to see some things about themselves and to make corrections. Whether or not that's what's happening on their end, I don't know. I've had to sever all three relationships because the end result was they're still dangerous and hurtful to me. But that was okay because I didn't really, when I said it was okay, it doesn't mean it didn't hurt. It was traumatic. But what happened was I felt the release. I felt the closure happening, and I felt me moving on and being able to walk away from that situation, leaving the responsibility for their own healing and clearing up to them, which is exactly as it should be. Now, with all the planetary alignments and things that are going on in the universe, in our solar system, and in the world around us, we are feeling very, very triggered and highly sensitive in many, many ways. Some of it you may recognize as your own triggers, others may be coming from other people, some of it's coming from people you don't even know. Nevertheless, we are being very emotional. So here we have the King of Cups, the king of the emotional reaction, the emotional part of us. The king is the boss. He's at the top of the ladder. He's also in charge of making things better, correcting situations, and moving forward, leading his people, and in this case, leading you forward to something better. So let's see what this has to say. The King of Cups, it's a court card. That means it represents you or people in your life. So the energy of this king is that of authority, dignity, honesty, and integrity. But it's also reserved because this person's power is in their quiet presence. They're not necessarily one who's going to speak up, speak out, and be in your face. They may quietly sit back and watch. And let you do, or people around them do whatever they want to do, and they just quietly deal with it by processing through it, recognizing that this is not their energy, it's not their stuff. So there's no need to grab onto it. It's a need to process through it so that it no longer is a connection. It becomes a resolved, closed issue on your part. And therefore, you can move on no matter what the other person is doing, whether they've changed or made amends or anything. It's not about you anymore. This is now only about them, and you're free to walk away. This could also represent, even though it's a king, remember in the tarot, the cards may represent a person, male or female, but maybe like in this case, this situation may represent a woman, but she may be a very powerful woman, not your shrinking violet, but one who stands in her own power, her own right, might even be a leader herself, maybe the boss, maybe owns her own company, or maybe a single parent where she's dealing with being, mother and father and dealing with things as she would if she were a regent in charge. But nevertheless, this is a mature woman. This is not a kid. This is someone who's been through some stuff. So she's earned some stripes and she knows what she's doing, or he, they know what they're doing. This one is one whose wisdom comes from life experiences and spiritual awareness. They are kind and gentle, maybe a professional because they tend, I mean, as a king, you think of someone who's, got that kind of professional demeanor about them. And this could also be someone who's in a decision-making position like a lawyer or a judge or, like I said, a business owner. They are kind and gentle, responsible and intelligent. And while their emotions run deep, you may never see them exhibit those emotions in public. This is a very passionate, a very private person. They're socially active, loving, and sensuous, but public displays of affection make them uncomfortable, so they'll rarely, if ever, lose control or cause a scene. But don't think this signifies repression or dysfunctionality. Oh no, this is about them being cultured, refined, balanced, in control, aware, and knowing who they are. This is a quiet confidence that doesn't need egotistical displays to command attention. In business, they are a force to be reckoned with, partly because they are so quiet in their presence and confident that you may never know what they're thinking. And before you know it, they've made a decision or taken an action that completely unnerves those around them because like they didn't see that coming. But yet and still, they are confident and sure in their choices and decisions. This quiet confidence, it doesn't need these displays to command attention in business, and they are a force to be reckoned with, as I said. In relationships, they make you feel secure and protected. They simply are who they are. Power, presence, gentility, generosity, graciousness, sincerity, and authenticity, all wrapped in a regal, enthusiastic, and grounded spirit. This is a person you want around in an emergency. They are capable of rising to the occasion, taking control, and bringing calm and serenity to chaos, even in the middle of a storm. They are reliable and true. They are intuitive, creative, empathetic, and nurturing. This is the quintessential magician, or at least they seem to be. They're often prosperous and live abundant lives. They may possess a power of manifestation that seems almost like alchemy to those around them. The energy of this card is that a natural healer, a psychic, a mystic, a visionary, and someone who's deeply spiritual and devoted. What can I say? It almost sounds like this person is perfect, but we know they are not. They are human just like the rest of us. And yet, when you are in their presence, you may find yourself wondering whether they're really an angel in disguise. We are also given messages from the Ascended Masters, and the first one is from Lakshmi. Lakshmi is an Ascended Master from the nation of India, from their culture. So she comes from the Hindu faith. And she says she represents the flow of prosperity. And she says, it's yours. Your prayers about finances have been heard and answered. So tap into your manifestation power by focusing on abundance instead of worrying about money. You have nothing to fear. A new flow of prosperity is supporting you and your loved ones. So stop worrying about money. Worries only attract money problems. Everything's going to be okay, especially with respect to finances. You have the support to make a desired life change right now. So visualize and affirm prosperity as you move forward. The next message comes from Hilarion, and he's about health and healing. He says this is a sign of healing. Your divine healing power has awakened, and you feel compelled to help others to heal, whatever area of life that may be, your finances, relationships, or maybe your physical or mental, emotional health. Just as you've been healed, so too do you want others to enjoy health and vitality. You're supported in making life changes so that you can continue to heal yourself and others. Let go of any fears or restrictive thinking to fully open to the miracles of healing. An illness or injury is healed or is healing, so you can stop worrying about it. But if it's something like an injury, keep taking care of it. You are a healer, even if you don't know you are. It's a good and safe time for you to change to a healing career if you're feeling led to do so. You are encouraged to study healing modalities, whether it's medical, emotional, like psychiatry or something like that, even energy modalities, or using other kinds of ways to heal people, herbs and remedies like that, crystals. Those are all part of the healing modalities you might be interested in. Then finally, we have a message from Babaji. Babaji says, do yoga. Yoga is one of the best exercises out there because it exercises your spirit side, your spiritual self, as well as the physical self. It's the techniques and moves that you do in yoga stretch the body and help it to be more flexible and to connect with your spiritual self, to calm anxiety and fear and depression. And because it's a lot of breathing and techniques like that, it also helps you oxygenate your body, which is so important. And for those who have had illnesses like COVID or some of the new variations, all the stuff that's going on, one of the side effects that a lot of people are left with is having a lack of oxygen in their blood. And they do all have to take all kinds of things to try to increase the oxygen levels of their blood. Well, yoga can do that for you. He says they guide you to do it on a regular basis. And you don't have to go to a studio. These days, there's all kinds of yoga classes on YouTube, and you can buy and take classes, digital online classes from all kinds of teachers. There's yoga for seniors and yoga for women and yoga for kids, all kinds of stuff. So take a look at it. It's something you can do quietly at home without spending a lot of money. He says yoga's benefits are one of the answers to your question. Through yoga, you'll gain increased clarity, energy, and flexibility. It even tones your muscles and increases your psychic awareness. You may meet wonderful new friends and have fun at a yoga class, so don't put that off the table altogether. If you're feeling a little isolated and like you really would like to socialize more and meet new people, consider going to a local yoga studio. And there's all kinds of yoga out there, hot yoga and this yoga and that yoga. So you've got a lot to choose from. Yoga is an ancient tradition among spiritual practitioners because of the many esoteric and material benefits. Practice breath work today by taking full inhalations and exhalations. Most importantly, if you can remember, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Do that, and you'll begin to feel more energy, more relaxed, more less stressful, and less anxiety than before. Well, that concludes our mystical insight for today. And I'm going to try to do these at least 3 times a week. So you can just, I'm going to settle into a pattern, but I'm still working on some other projects that are high priority right now. So I will do 3 per week. And today is Monday, so probably the next one will be on Wednesday and then again on Friday. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate your participation and taking the time to listen. God bless.